Ooh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Holy moly. The drama that's going on in my house today is crazy. And I was trying to find a semi-quiet place to do this go live this morning. But hopefully I don't get bothered in my upstairs bathroom. So the acoustics might be a little echoey in here this morning. But I hope you all are having a great morning, a great day. Yeah, I was trying to find a place to put my phone down so that I could use my hands and chat with you guys. But hey, this works. So anyway, we had kind of a crazy weekend. Ooh, my hair is I didn't realize my hair was so crazy when I put it up this morning. I did my workout. Maybe I'll do this. Oh, I know what I can do. Here. I'm going to sit here. Hopefully this stays like this. Hopefully. Nope. There. Kind of. Haha! Yay! Success. Okay. All right. I can put my phone down and use my hands and drink my coffee. Cheers. Woo! Cheers to a magnificent Monday ahead of us. This weekend was kind of crazy. We were invited, I was invited to a fundraiser dinner. They do auction stuff and just trying to make money. And it was by my friend who her kids are in a club out here. And she's like, well, they're doing this night thing where you have dinner and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll get a sitter. Let's do this. I'll get a sitter and let's go. And my husband was supposed to be doing his own thing. He was going to go roping. And so I'm like, okay, I'll get a sitter. You can go rope. I'll go do this. It's not a huge deal. So I did it. Got a sitter lined up, and his roping partner, his buddy that he ropes with, decided that he wasn't going to be home. So my husband's like, well, now I have nothing to do, and you have a sitter coming. I'm like, well, I kind of feel bad for canceling on the sitter. So what I ended up doing was he came with us. My friend had an extra ticket, so he came with us to this night. And there was a comedian there that wasn't all that great. But, I mean, whatever. We kind of made fun of him and made our own little jokes. And we were laughing, so he thought that he was funny. Win-win, right? Anyway, so we do this, and we go outside, go to leave, and it's raining. Yes, it's raining in November, which, don't get me wrong, I've seen rain in all months of the year. I've seen snow in all months of the year. It's not like it's a surprise. But when you live out of town, it's a little bit more difficult to get home. So the highways were good. They were just wet. It was still warm enough that it was just wet. But then we get to the side roads, and I'm driving because I'm on my 60 some days of my 75 hard, so that doesn't, I'm not drinking alcohol, right? So I drank club soda all night, with a squeeze of lime. I'm not particularly fond of tap water, so I wasn't drinking water, but I was drinking, I had a few club sodas while I was there, and he had a few rums. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll drive because I'm not working, or I'm not driving. And so I was driving, and we get onto our back road, and I'm doing pretty good for maybe a couple 100 meters. And then all of a sudden the truck just starts going sideways, no, wait, it went this way. Nose end first, that way. And I was like, oh my God, I'm trying not to hit the brakes because I know that's the worst thing, right? Just lock up your brakes. And I'm trying to steer but not oversteer, and we're just going sideways. There was nothing. There's no grip, no nothing. And I'm like, oh no, here we go. And right after, there's a turnoff. Basically, you turn off onto our road, and then there's a plant that's right along the highway, and that's where the turnoff is into the plant. And we get past that turnoff into the plant, and then there's a little deeper ditch, it used to be a creek or something. And we're headed towards that. I'm like, oh no, if we hit that deep part of the ditch, we're screwed. I'm like, no. So I'm trying to do stuff, and I'm tapping. I'm not tapping the brakes, but I'm tapping the gas so I can get my tires to go and get some traction while I'm correcting. Nothing's working. And then finally we're like headed in there and I'm like, oh, here we go. So I just slam on the brakes because I'm like, I don't want to go that fast into the ditch. And it's not like I was going fast. I was doing like 10 or 20 kilometers an hour. Not very fast. But I didn't get to the part of the side of the road where there's a tiny bit skiff of snow where I could get a little tiny bit of traction. Anyway, so we're in the ditch. We're in the ditch. My husband and I were in the ditch. And he's like, okay, well, I'll just try and get us out. So he was trying to get us out. It didn't work. And then the babysitter's ride, I saw him pull off the highway and coming towards us. I'm like, hey, I don't suppose you could just kind of see if you could give us a little tug. I don't think it would take much to pull us out. So we hook a rope to his front end and he's like backing, but then he's going kind of sideways into the other ditch. Not really sideways, but like backing into this. So anyway, it was kind of a fiasco. I'm like, I don't want to put you in the ditch. So let's just stop. And we end up, because I think our friend had like hooked on something like a windrow or something in the ditch, like where the snow had been pushed up. So our friend was just kind of stuck there and there was no way to like just yank the back end out. And I'm just like freaking out, but whatever. It is what it is. We're in the ditch and I ended up calling my friend who she lives just up the road from us and she was almost home and she turned around and came and got us from where she was. So we got a ride home. We called AMA, which is like CAA, which is like AAA in the States. Excuse me. And they're going to come bring a tow truck so they could winch us out. Anyway, long story short, we ended up waiting till yesterday at like 11 or something to get our truck out. So no swimming lessons this weekend. And it was just so icy. Like all the back roads were just a sheet of ice, like freshly Zambonied hockey rink. Like nice and shiny. So anyway, it's been a fun weekend, but you know, we got to spend time at home. We went outside, played with the kids. We put up our tree this weekend, our Christmas tree. It's the earliest we have ever put up our tree. But last year, my husband and I decided that since the kids wanted the tree up early last year, we decided that this year last year we bought a tree, like a fake tree. It's like a 12-foot fake tree. So this year we put up our tree this weekend, and it's the earliest I've ever had a tree up. Normally I wait till the December 1st, but the kids wanted the tree up the day after Halloween, and I'm like, no tree the day after Halloween. Let's wait a couple weeks. So we did, and now it's decorated, and they're happy, but now they want Christmas to come. I'm like, well, you still have a month till Christmas, so you're gonna have to wait. Anyway, so today I have no notes because I wanted to speak from the heart on this subject. And last night I wrote a post in a separate group about basically my journey with doing this 75 hard challenge. And I'm on day like 64 of 75. And you know, staying the course has been challenging at times. I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy. They call it the 75 hard challenge for a reason. But I'm going to lay it all out for you guys. I have hit, since my last pregnancy, my last baby, which was August of 2017, I gave birth. And since then, my body has not been less than 230, 240 pounds. It's bounced around in there since then. And I've tried different things. I did intermittent fasting. I've done low carb. I've done all this stuff. And I've tried just doing different things. But I think the problem has been consistency. And I talk about consistency quite a bit. I did a full go live on it a bunch of weeks ago about consistency. And it's just all about, maybe it's not consistency, but longevity. Maintaining your consistency over a certain amount of time is probably the biggest battle that anybody can experience, whether you're working on, you know, weight loss, whether you're working on your business, you're working on something else in your life that you have goals and you are trying to get to those goals. but it's just, you don't see it happening. You don't see it. And about 10 days ago or so, I had hit a plateau. I had come down from I started this challenge on September 16th, and I was 234 point something pounds. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, I'm on this challenge. It's not necessarily for weight loss, but it's a perk. Don't get me wrong. So I had hit about 222 or so pounds about 10 days ago, and I kind of plateaued. And if you have ever been on a weight loss journey at all, you know that plateaus are normal. They're a normal part of your life. It's your body adjusting to what you're doing. So when your body is adjusting, you have to change it up. So I was like changing it up. I was doing a couple little different things, like between my weights. I had increased my weights in some of my exercises. I'm running for longer periods at a time. Like instead of 2 minutes at a time, I can run for like 3 or even 5 minutes at a time. So I'm changing a little bit of things up. Even with my food, I'm been doing low carb intermittent fasting throughout this whole challenge. Obviously no sugar, no alcohol, because that's part of it. But then I kind of took it one step further, and I'm like, hey, this is the meal plan, the diet that I want to follow. So I'm doing some low carb. I'm doing intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting means either cycle fasting. I do at least 24-hour fast a week usually. And I do a day off where I don't fast at all. I eat no matter when I want. It's not what I want, but when I want. So, for me, I was like changing it up and trying different things. And I'm like, what's not working? I stepped on the scale about 10 days after I'd hit the plateau, and I was like trying all these different things. I'm like, what is going on? None of this is working. Like, I'm at this plateau, and it's not a huge deal because I knew in my mind that this wasn't the goal. Weight loss ultimately wasn't the goal of this whole thing. It's just developing the habits that could eventually lose to weight loss and just improve my mindset. Because part of it is reading every day. And I don't know about you, but I could read all the time and sit on my butt and not lose weight. I could probably gain weight. So that's not the part. It's part of it, but it's not part of it. It's not part of the weight loss, but it's part of the mindset. So when I'm doing, my workouts, and I'm making sure that I'm eating properly and everything like that, plus my reading and my water intake, it's all about the habits. The habits is what I was aiming for. Like developing these habits over 75 days to continue these habits. Because, habits are not made in 21, 28 days. They're made over a longer period of time. The longer you can do something without having a break, it's a habit, right? So, but I was kind of basing the success of my habits on my weight loss. So I was like, if I'm losing weight, then obviously I'm a success at making these habits, which is not true. You cannot base the success of you achieving your goals on the success of other little things along the way. Like me losing weight is not like if I lost weight, just doesn't mean that I'm successful at doing my 75 hard challenge to completion, because you can lose weight in other ways, or you can cheat. You can not work out for a day here and there. It's not the point. It's the point of my challenge was doing things consistently. But the longevity is the biggest thing, because these are my wedding rings. I hardly wear them. I've hardly worn them since my second trimester of my last pregnancy. My first pregnancy, I had to get them cut off because my hands swelled up so big, and I just forgot to take them off. And when I tried to take them off, it didn't happen. So I rarely wear these. I rarely did wear these because it hurt. It pinched. It was uncomfortable. They were like too tight since my second trimester of my pregnancy. So on Saturday evening before we went out, I put them on. And I have not taken them off since because they're not uncomfortable anymore. And it's then that I realized, I was like, I am making changes. The scale may not reflect it, but this is huge. Me being able to wear my rings for more than a few hours is a huge deal to me. And the fact that I can do things like run for 5 minutes at a time now, that's a huge deal to me. The fact that, my cravings for sweets are pretty much gone. But it's because I've stuck to this for I've stuck to this for 64 days. And I have another 11 to go. Don't get me wrong. I'm not done by any means. But that means that, when I go back to normal, I can't beat myself up for having something that I have really wanted over the last 60 some days. Whether it's food or to take a break or whatever. I think whoever's watching right now, I thank you for the heart. I can't see who's watching. I'm not sure if there's something going on with my Go Live that I can't see comments or who's watching or whatever, but I love and appreciate you for sure for tuning in live. Because this whole thing this is me laying it all out. Yes, I was 200 and some pounds. I am 200 and some pounds. I weighed myself yesterday, 218. I haven't been that low since way before my second pregnancy. And I had been plateaued for 10 days. That seems like a long time when you're trying to make a difference in your life. And it's all about all the little things that I've been doing consistently over time. So, and even with my business, it's the same thing. I've been working on it since February. I started my online business February of 2018. Am I a millionaire yet? No, yet. That's the key word. Am I 140 pounds yet? No, yet is the key word. So all it takes, and I know it seems like it's a long road, whether you're doing weight loss or building a business or whatever. I know it seems like such a long road, and it seems like you're getting nowhere, and you're spinning your wheels, and you're like that hamster wheel. You're like, I'm doing all these things. I'm doing all the things that they say I need to do to lose weight or build a business or whatever you're working on right now. It doesn't matter what you're working on right now. It's same. Like whether you're losing weight or building business or whatever, they're all the same kind of progress, because all the little things that you're doing every day, that's what matters in your business. And that's what matters in your life. Even take parenting, for example. I have a 5-year-old. I have a 2-year-old. They're completely different children. Completely. Even my 5-year-old, when she was 2, so different. Like, my 2-year-old screams at the top of her head. She has more words in her vocabulary than my oldest at 2, but she still screams. So I have to sit on the floor and say, hey, what's going on? Why are you screaming? Tell me what's going on. Are you angry at something? Like, let's put words into what you're feeling, right? So I have to take different tacts with each child to understand where they're coming from. And sometimes it's so hard to not just freak out and be like, hey, this isn't a huge deal, but to them it is. And I admit, I have so many times where I'm just like, what am I doing here? What am I doing? What am I doing in my parenting? What am I doing in my business? What am I doing with my health? I have no idea sometimes. But it's all about doing those little things every day. So me sitting down with my toddler and saying, What's going on? Me complimenting my oldest on having a dry bed, or having the respect to help her little sister or help me or help her dad without being asked. But it's about also acknowledging her when she's being helpful, or when she's done something good. It's not just giving your child a hard time when she's being bad. It's also acknowledging the good habits that she's developing, right? So it's the same thing with you. You have good habits, acknowledge them. Hey, my wins I talked about wins last week because I did Winning Wednesday and on my Monday morning motivation, but celebrate your wins for the day. You have to. I don't care how little they are. They have to be celebrated. Like today, I worked out this morning. Awesome. What else did I do? I didn't freak out on my one child because of one thing that she did. That's a win. Let's take those little things that you're doing each day, whether it's in your business or whether it's in your personal life or whatever you're doing. Let's celebrate them because they need to be celebrated, and you need to keep celebrating them because you need to keep doing them. You need to keep doing them consistently. You need to keep doing them for an amazing length of time before you might see results. You might not even see your results. Somebody will see your results in you and acknowledge them. You'll be like, I didn't even think about that. So stay consistent and stay the path, because that is where success lies. Like I said, I had no notes for this today. I'm just going to wing it because I know that I wrote about this in a different group yesterday, and I just feel it from the heart, and it's something that I'm experiencing right now. So I just wanted to share it with you guys because I know that you guys are all awesome, amazing human beings, and I know that you have the power to do it too. Whether it's anything, any goals in your life, you have the power and you have the willpower to get to your goals, because I know you have the consistency and I know you have the longevity. And the longevity is what matters. As long as you're being consistent, you can do it. I know you can. I'm your biggest cheerleader because you're in this group. If you're in this group, I'm your cheerleader. Definitely feel free to reach out if you have any struggles or if you're feeling like you're not on the right path for your goals. Definitely reach out because I would love to help you out for that. But until then, until next week, stay strong, stay the path, stay consistent, and just keep going. Love and appreciate you all, the couple of people that tuned in live. Hey, Jenna! Oh, it was you! Love you, girl. We'll chat with you later. Yes, and we'll talk next week on Monday with your Monday morning motivation. If you have not caught any of my previous replays, they're on my website, categorized and all laid out nicely for you guys. I do have a few in here that are archived, but the rest of them are on my page, so you can go there too. It's completely up to you where you want to see this stuff. I like my website. It's actually looking pretty good. So if you don't know where my website is, it's pammarieb.com. And then you can see all my stuff on there. So definitely check it out. And like I said, feel free to reach out to me personally if you are having struggles or if you're not sure if you're on the right path, because I've been through this since February. I know what's going on and I can definitely steer you in the right path. So until then, until next week, cheers again. Oh, I love my coffee way too much. I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.